Alright, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praises to Yahawah, bahasham Yahawashi, bahasham Kudash. Double honor to our apostles and elders, the GMS, to the elect doing work in sincerity and in truth, shalawam. GMS precepts, Nazar Khud here. I got a few articles to touch on. The first one is from the Daily Mail, and it is basically going into the situation with North Korea. I'll just read it. This is North Korea. It says, like I said, from the DailyMail.com, it says North Korea fires ballistic missile over Japan for the first time in 5 years, as Tokyo urges residents to evacuate amid growing regional tensions following U.S. and South Korean military drills. Okay, so it's a lot of tension still going on over there in the Far East. North Korea fired an unidentified ballistic missile over Japan early Tuesday. Japanese government has warned citizens to evacuate inside or underground, which is retarded. And there's nothing you can do. I mean, you would think they would have learned the last time. You can't really, you can't escape. There's nothing you can do once a missile is dropped. The launch was part of a record-breaking streak of weapon tests by Pyongyang. It comes as South Korea ramps up military drills with the U.S. North Korea has fired a ballistic missile over Japan for the first time in 5 years. Hugely provocative move that ramps up simmering tensions in Eastern Pacific. The missile was launched around 7:20 a.m. Tuesday from North Korea's site near the border with China and passed over Japan's Tohoku region around 5 minutes later. Warning sirens sounded as civilians were told to take cover. The rocket passed over the mainland and continued 1,800 miles off Japan's eastern coast before splashing down in the Pacific around 7:45, making it the longest-range North Korean missile test ever. No damage was caused. Nobody was hurt. Here's a little graph or picture. North Korea shot over Japan and into the water. Nonetheless, the test is a clear provocation, likely in response to joint U.S., South Korean, and Japanese naval drills last week in the North Korean despot King Kim Jong-un regards as a rehearsal for an invasion. So you see there's a common theme here. These countries, these nations, in particular North Korea, which are allies with Russia, and against the allies with America, like Japan and South Korea. They're participating in military drills or war games, which is nothing more than a flex of muscle between nations. All right, and it started. Who started it? It was in response to the drills that U.S., South Korea, and Japan were doing. Right. Another article here: North Korea tests world's resolve by sending missile over Japan. But you see, Kim Jong-un's regime is returning to an escalating cycle of provocation it hasn't used for years, security experts say. But this is bullshit because all he's doing is responding to what was done to him. Like, if anything, he was being provoked. But you see, this is Wall Street Journal. They're going to make it seem, they're going to frame it like, oh, he's a bad guy. He's testing missiles. The only reason why he's testing missiles is because America, South Korea, and Japan they conducted their own military drills about a week ago. You see? I read this one. This is from Barron's.com. U.S., South Korea conduct precision bombing drill after North Korea missile launch. This is just a straight up lie. Unless this is another drill that they're doing. South Korea and U.S. Fighter jets carried out precision bombing drills Tuesday, Seoul military said, in response to North Korea firing an intermediate range missile over Japan. Wow. With the with the participation of 4 South Korean Air Force F-15Ks and 4 U.S. Force F-16 fighters, South Korea's F-15K fired 2 joint direct attack munition bombs against a virtual target at the Jaquito shooting field in the West Sea, Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said, referring to the LOC. The drills aim to demonstrate the Allies' capabilities to conduct a precision strike at their origin. Man, this is just a straight up lie. I just said in another article that that let me see what date was it? They just said they did something last week. Let's see here. Let me see. Yeah, nonetheless, the test is a clear provocation, likely in response to the U.S. Joint. Oh, so these were naval drills. Okay, so with the U.S., South Korea, and Japan, they were naval drills, and in response to the missile shot over Japan, America conducted in precision bombing drills. Okay. Anyway, whoever started it, it don't matter. And and the tension is brewing. It's all done by the Most High. And this is in the midst of, we still got the situation going on in Russia, where Putin is threatening to use his nuclear missiles. CIA weighs in on alleged Russian nuclear threat. U.S. intelligence agencies don't see practical evidence that Moscow is getting ready to use nukes. Agency director says. Okay, so we got this situation going on. Also, we got Biden administration donating another $625 million to Ukraine defense to aid Zelensky in their situation, their ongoing tension with Russia. So it's a lot of beef going on, right? It's a lot of stirring up of these nations, but that's all being done by the Most High, right? So you read Isaiah 13, it explains it. I'm going to just jump down to the point. Isaiah 13:4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle, right? So this is speaking about that third world war, right? And what's going to consist of that third world war? Missiles are going to be used, right? Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. What's going to be able to destroy a whole land? Those ICBM nuclear missiles, right? The same missiles that Russia is threatening to use against the West, right? The same missiles that North Korea just shot over Japan in a highly provocative action. The same missiles that U.S., South Korea, and Japan are conducting their drills with, right? But it's the Most High that mustereth the host of the battle. The Most High wants this third world war to take place. And there's steps that have to be taken for it to lead to a third world war. And we're right on that path of doing so. Right? So this is something to watch. The situation going on in Japan, the situation going on in Russia, and all the nations. This is all biblical prophecy, right? Wars and rumors of wars. Nation against nation, right? Lord willing, you brothers are edified. Until the next show, shalawam.